What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Nava, and welcome to my session 5 Church Live Streaming Essentials that actually get people interested in your message. Because I believe it's not just enough to have a live stream. You want to get people interested. You want to get people into it, looking forward to it, maybe pique their curiosity a bit. And what we found over the years is that with churches, live streaming is a unique beast. A lot of things that we do carries over best practices into other live streaming events and situations and setups, but there are some unique challenges that come along with churches, such as positioning equipment, timing, pre-production, post-production, getting around the people. It's real tough. And then obviously, I think we can all agree, budget. Churches are in a unique situation because there's no streamlined income, there's no product, there's no affiliates. It's all based on donations. And so we have to be extremely careful with how we spend our money and make sure we're spending it wisely, what we would call being good stewards. So I am very excited to see all the churches and leaders and volunteers and maybe even some pastors that have signed up for this session. Let's get into what our purpose here today is. First, you're going to discover how to create a live stream that people will actually look forward to. We're going to talk about how to get potential visitors to emotionally and positively connect with your church before they even step foot in the building. Boy, wouldn't that be nice? And then lastly, we're going to learn the audio and video differences between a church live stream and other live stream events. If we haven't met, my name is Justin Nava. I've been a freelance web designer since 2012. I'm currently the content marketing strategist for Church Training Academy, and I am the communications director for Crosswaves Church. I try to stay pretty busy. I've been working in and for churches since 2006. I've been in church all my life. I've worked as an intern, part-time staff, full-time staff, director position, volunteer, you name it, consultant. Now I have an agency that works for churches, and now I train churches as part of Church Training Academy. I've been in interim periods. I've been a leader. I've been in committees. I've been on staff. I've been out of staff, volunteer. You name it, I've probably done it. I've been on a crazy journey, and I am so excited to be here. And I've been live streaming, not too long, only about 2 to 3 years, but with my partner, Dave Curley in Church Training Academy, he's been streaming for decades, and he's worked with some pretty big companies, and he's taught me a lot. And together, we've kind of formed a few secret sauces that really work for churches to get a great stream, but also get people really interested in it. And so that's what I'm going to share with you today. I want this to be packed with value, and I will be in the chat. So if anyone has any questions, by all means ask in the chat, and I will be there right alongside you to provide answers or clarity for anything you have right now. Let me show you a picture real quick. This is my last church, First Baptist Edinburgh. This is our live stream. We run it on Ecamm Live, and it's just my favorite. There are other platforms that you can do and use, but this is, some of my favorite stuff. And this is our live stream team. This is one of our volunteers at the computer, and this is another kiddo we have shadowing because he's about to become one of our live streaming guys. And then we have one other plus myself that are not in the picture. And then you can see here's our church setup. This is actually taken during worship. And we started just having no idea what we were doing. And we were able to build up a team. We were able to build up a following online of people that enjoyed watching our services. We were not in a big town. Comparatively, I live in Houston now. That's a big town. But let me ask you, so let me turn the question from me, let me turn the attention from me to you. I want to ask you, where are you right now? And again, looking at my own church, I'm going to show you a couple stats here, just some screenshots. This is kind of where we started out, and I'm going to ask you, is this you? So maybe type a 1 in the chat if this is you. If you're just starting out, you have a couple dozen, maybe 3-digit numbers watching, but not a lot of engagements, a lot of passive viewership. People tune in, tune out. They come in, they watch. Maybe you look at your analytics and you see people are only watching a few seconds or a few minutes, and then they pop right out. That's kind of stage 1. That's kind of where we all start. Or are you getting some traction? You've got a few more people watching. You've got a lot more people engaging, chatting with each other, asking you questions, responding to your calls, interacting with the stream a little bit. Are you getting some traction? Or Are you rocking along? Do you have, over 1,000 people watching? Do you have just as many engagements, people interacting, kind of where you're at? So let's say type of 1 if you're just starting out, type of 2 if you're getting some traction, type of 3 if you're rocking along. And all of these numbers come from the last couple years from my church that I just showed you. We're a church of about 125, 150. On a good day, we might have 175. But where are you along this? And let me tell you, all these numbers come from that church of about 150. These are all real numbers that we've seen. And I want to know where you are if you're just starting out getting some traction or rocking along, because these things that I'm going to show you here, these 5 best practices, are the same things we implemented in my own church. And we saw an incredible boost in engagement and people looking forward to our church and connecting with our church before they step foot in the building. So these 5 practices that I'm going to show you here, these are platform agnostic. Again, we used Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live is my go-to, but this will work if you're using OBS, vMix, or any of the other live streaming software. No previous experience is necessary. You don't have to be a live stream guru. You could even be brand new to the church, and this will still work for you. And I want to make sure you stick around to the end, because I'm going to give you 3 free bonuses that you only get if you stick around to the end. So a little preview there, the icons that'll give you a little preview. Maybe you can guess what's coming up next. So let's get into the first one. So first, let me just focus in here. Okay, remember, we're a church. You work for a church, you volunteer at a church. A church is literally, really nothing but a group of people, right? That's what we call in the church world. We call it capital C church. It's the church. Church is just a group of people. Now, there is a church building where it's at the home base for a group of people that are the church. And when you live stream, you have to remember that you're doing this for people. You're not doing it to look good. You're not doing it to archive stuff. You're doing it so people can participate in your church's worship service when they can't be there. And so we don't want them just to be a fly on the wall. We don't want to just have them watch a video on demand if we can help it. It's a good first start. But we want people to watch the live stream so we can interact and engage with them and honestly worship alongside of them. So step 1, number 1 best practice that I want you to know. If you got to go, stick around just for a few minutes to get this, because this is the biggest one. And that is engage your audience. It does not matter the greatest tech you have. You could have the best audio, the best video, but it means nothing if you don't engage your audience. It's kind of like having the best worship band, but you don't actually play for them. You're just kind of sitting around playing and you don't interact with anyone in your church. You just pack up and leave. No, people don't like that in their music ministries. And so in your live stream, remember to engage your audience. Let me give you some pointers on this. Number 1, to engage your audience. First, you have to know how do they talk. Sometimes when we do church stuff, we pick up this weird, funny lingo, especially when we're doing websites or social media stuff, or even when we talk from the stage. The pastor will say things, and you're like, dude, that is not how normal people talk. So first off, talk like your people talk. Don't say, boy, we're excited to see you. Glad you're here. Join us for worship as we sing praise. At my church, we don't talk like that. We don't walk into the church foyer, the entrance of there, and boy, I'm glad to see you, Jonathan. No, it's like, hey, what's up? How's it going? Where are you watching from? That's how people talk. So don't try to be all fancy or embellished. Don't do anything like that. Just talk like normal people talk. Point number 2, your audience, you have to know what their needs are, okay? And what are their needs? How do you find that out? Well, quite simple. You ask them. In the church world, this might look like, hey guys, where are you watching from? Someone posts they're at the hospital. Oh boy, Sharon, sorry to hear that. Do you need anything? We can stop by, bring you lunch. Is your family taken care of? What are their needs? What do they need? Maybe, they need to interact and ask questions. Maybe someone has a birthday. You can do a birthday shout out. It's a little bit outside the scope of what we're talking about. But when you engage your audience, you have to know what they need. This is also kind of critical if you live in an area like I do off the coast. Hurricane season comes around. People can't, get out of their house, or they're sheltering in because the weather could be bad. For whatever reason, they have needs. Even in the middle of this pandemic, people have needs and they're watching online. And I see church streams ask nothing. Nothing. And they just say, hey, watch us, look at us. Aren't we special? Aren't we great? Aren't we so good for doing this for you? And it's never about the audience. And that's a problem. So you have to know what their needs are. When you also know what their needs are, you can tailor your live stream to that. And the last thing is you need to know what is important to them. Again, this is very location based. I love working with local churches, and I probably should have started with this, but a lot of what I'm talking about here is for the local church that is live streaming to their community, to their city, to their local area. And every local area is different. Even neighborhoods are different. That's why we have so many churches in one city. A small city of 14,000 could have 5 or 6 churches because they're all serving different people that have different needs and with different priorities in life. So when you do your live stream, you have to know what's important to the people at home. That will help you facilitate how you carry out your stream. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, put it in the chat and I will clarify. But you really want to engage your audience. The summary of this is going to be, don't just put your live stream up and then never check the chat. Don't talk to people. Don't engage with them. Don't follow up with them. If you're just putting up a live stream video on Facebook, you're serving maybe 2 people, but that's not really something that we want to look forward to. This is not a university class that I paid hundreds of dollars and I'm going to go watch the live stream when I'm sick. This is a group of people that I hopefully love or want to get to know. This is a community and I want to talk with them, engage with them. And when you make the live streaming when you make the live stream engaging with your viewer, they get more excited to watch again and keep watching. So real quick, you just, put in the chat, what's going on, guys? How's your day going so far? How's your morning going? What did you have for breakfast? Where are you watching from? There are dozens of questions, and I'll tell you more about them later, that you could ask that get people engaged and they feel loved, they feel welcomed, even though they're sitting at home in their slippers and pajamas. They feel like they could be a part of this church. That is huge. I have to go on, but there's more that could be said there, but I do want to go on here. Number 2, you need to promote your stream. This is a big one. Churches just kind of have a live stream and they just assume everyone knows about it. That's a big communication no-no. You don't want to just have something and just assume people will go watch it. You have to be telling people about it. Think about this own leap into live stream. I'm sure thousands of people follow Ecamm everywhere and the people that are watching this, but we still promote it because we don't just rely on Ecamm followers to watch these sessions. We want everyone to watch these sessions. So Ecamm has done a fantastic job promoting Leap into live stream, and that's really cool. And the same way, you need to promote your church live stream. Now look at this imagery. I specifically chose this imagery of the woman whispering to her child. I want to make sure that your marketing is a whisper and not a scream. So we want this to be something where it's like, hey, let's pique some curiosity. Let's get you excited about it. I mean, when you're a child and your parent whispers something to you, my daughter loves this. She can't keep a secret to save her life, but she loves hearing secrets. So I'll tell her, hey, this is a secret. What's for dinner? Don't tell mommy. And she giggles and she gets so excited. Same thing if I tell her, hey, we're going to the park on Saturday. Okay, thanks. But if I tell her, hey, don't tell mommy, we're going to the park on Saturday, she gets all excited and giggly and she starts planning out picnics. It's the most beautiful thing. And the same thing when we tell people about our church live streams. If we make it not a secret, but if we tell them in a fun way, if we communicate it with them in a way that will pique their interest, that will go light years beyond just screaming at them. Watch our live stream. We're live right now. Come watch now. So how do you do this? How do you promote your live stream? 3 simple, easy steps. Number 1, you have to make it an easy click. Don't rely on people to come find you. You have to put yourself in front of them. Make it easy. That means you're going to email them your live stream link. And it's amazing how many churches don't take advantage of this. I assume before Leap into live stream started, you got an email that said, hey, we're starting up now. Churches can do the same thing. We do that with our own company. We tell people when our YouTube live show starts. You can do it too. If your service starts at 10:55, send an email to your congregation. Hey, we're starting right now. If you have a church management system, this is pretty easy. You probably have all your congregation's emails. If you don't know what a church management system is, I'm talking about Fellowship One, Breeze, Servant Keeper, Planning Center, Church Teams, any of those, Shelby, that have a database of your membership, you can get their emails from. If you're using a texting service, text the link. We're live right now. Come join us on your phone. Text them the link, and then all they have to do is click, and they're watching. Doing this alone will triple your live viewerships for the church. If you have an app, use a push notification. We're live right now. YouTube does this. When you hit the bell icon, you get a notification, push notification on your phone when your favorite YouTube channels go live. This is the same thing. If you have a church app, use that push notification, but get your link out there. And notice I didn't put social media on here because social media has an algorithm that you have to fight against or play with, depending on how great you are at optimization. So don't rely on people seeing your Facebook message or your Instagram post because Instagram especially, they might see it the day after and they miss the live stream. And now they only get to watch the video on demand. Number 2, ask the question, what's in it for me? When you send that email, don't just say, we're live right now. Click here click here to watch. Like, that's kind of an inconvenience, but what's in it for me? Discover why Jesus chose these 12 disciples. Why did Jesus choose fishermen? Has it ever bothered you that Jesus chose fishermen and not educated people? Like, wouldn't that have been a lot easier? That's what we're talking about in today's sermon. Click here to watch it and join the conversation. Super easy. What's in it for me? You could even, that was so academic though. If that's the topic, that was kind of academic, but maybe you're doing a sermon series on marriage. Did you have a fight with your wife this week? Did it feel unfair? Do you still feel unsettled by it? Did you sleep on the couch this week? We're talking about how to fight fair in marriage, and we're talking about it right now. Click to watch live. That's huge. That I get something out of that. Okay, that's huge. And then maybe this is during the pandemic, right? This is a weird time, and where is God in all this? It's a tough topic, and we're talking about that today. Click here to watch. So that's huge. That's huge. And along with that, pique curiosity. That's point number 3 here. So when you promote, you want to pique curiosity. Don't just say, this week we're talking out of Acts 12. That's boring. That's no one. I mean, just a few people just want to go for an exegetical sermon. We can get that anywhere. But how can you pique curiosity? Again, talk about what's relevant. Answer questions that are important to people, or ask the questions and tell them you're going to answer it on today's live stream, whether it's your sermon or maybe the pastor's just doing a talk. That's how you promote your stream. Doing this will increase your viewers, but also increase engagement, because maybe you want to ask. We're talking about marriage this week today. Ask your question. Maybe we'll read it out loud and answer it from the stage. We're going to talk about that. Fun way to do that too. So that's number 2, promote your live stream. Number 3 here, I'm going to move a little bit faster because as I go along, I'm starting with the important points. I don't want to leave you hanging if you got to leave early. I'm going to start with the important points and move my way here. So you'll notice that we're not talking about tech right now, because tech is the last part of the chain. You have to get this stuff done first, and how to create an engaging live stream, and then the tech will come and support that. So number 3, the last thing I want to talk about to you that's not tech related, is to remember the I'm here too. Okay, your online viewers, they're seated not in your pews, not in your stadium or worship center, auditorium, sanctuary, whatever you want to call it. They're seated at home, but they're there too, listening, watching, and hopefully participating in worship. So number 1, remember that they're there and address the online viewer. Don't forget that they're there. Pastors have a thing where they kind of look around, and I learned this in ministry class. You kind of have like hot spots that you look at when you're preaching to the congregation or worship leaders. As a musician, I was taught, look just above the last row. And then that's kind of like your eye line where you should keep your eyes so you're not awkwardly looking at people while you're performing. But don't forget the online viewer is there. Pastors, look at the camera. Sometimes you'll be like, you'll pick a hot spot and you say like, God may have a plan for you. There may be something that's pulling you. Don't point, but there may be something that's pulling you, and God wants to do something in your life. Like, how much more impactful is that when I look at the camera and address the people at home? Same thing if you're giving a welcome time. Real popular in churches, we do welcome times. Welcome everyone. I'm so glad you're here today. Thank you for choosing First Baptist, Bill and Ted's excellent First Baptist Church. We're so glad you're here today. And we're glad if you're watching online, we're glad you tuned in online. It's super easy to find something else to do at home, but you made the decision to watch online, and we are just glad you're here. Address the people online. Let them know that you recognize them. And then number 2, this is kind of a detail, but include them in polls. So many times pastors will do something like, hey, who here's married? Who here's lost a father? Who here still has their mother? Who here, whatever, like raise a show of hands. Who's watched the latest Avengers movie? The people watching online can raise their hand, but oftentimes you won't address them or see them. So just make sure that you say something like, who here has watched the latest Avengers movie? And if you're online watching, type a 1 in the chat so I can know if you've watched it too. Like, that's huge. So anytime you do any kind of polling or raise your hands, have you ever heard of this? Make sure you include the viewer as well. And then number 3, especially for small churches, make sure you allow online signups. If you're making announcements and you say, hey, we got a men's camp out this weekend, go sign up in the back. Go sign up in the communications center. Go sign up on the blue wall. Go sign up whatever in the back. If I'm at home, I can't do that. And now I got to figure out your email or give you a call tomorrow, which I'm going to forget. Forget it. I'm not going to go to the camp out. But if you make it easy to do an online sign up, go sign up in the back. Or if you're online, just hit us up in the chat and we'll send you a message with the details. Or you can go to our website. There's an online sign up form there. You can just let us know you're interested. We'll work out payment later or something like that. How much easier is it when you have online signups for your viewers to get involved? That's huge. And again, as a viewer, it lets me know that you were thinking of me. You planned for me. You prepared for me. You invested something in me. So as a viewer, I'm more comfortable now investing in something for you. I want to address a couple of tech stuff. So let's talk about audio tips next. Number 1, when you're doing audio for your live stream, make sure you use direct sound. In churches, we all should have or probably have audio boards in the back or off to the side, okay? We have PA systems. Pastor has a mic or he's holding a mic. We all have sound going to the audio boards. Get that sound out of that audio board and into your live stream. If you're using Ecamm, just run sound from your audio board over to your computer and then use that as the audio source for your within Ecamm. You can also do audio from the board to your camera. There's a couple ways you can get audio, but make sure you use direct sound. Do not just point a mic at the speaker or just rely on the onboard mic from the camera. Make sure that you get the actual direct sound from the audio board. Number 2, this is a little bit more advanced, but when you start live streaming your church, and this is something that's unique to us, you'll realize that the way you tune your room, the way you EQ your sound for the room does not carry over to the live stream. So a really neat thing to do, and this can go way deeper than I have time to today, is get an independent audio board for your live stream. And it has to involve with grouping or sub-channeling, whatever you want to call it, on your audio board. Send some information out to this independent board, and that way you can mix it to adjust it with your headphones. Make sure that it sounds good for your live stream. So even though it sounds great in your room, it might not sound good for the live stream. And if you tune it to the live stream, it's not going to sound good in the room. And if you've never done worship through live stream, you don't know what I'm talking about, but if you have, I know you know what I'm talking about. And number 3, make sure you monitor. I always have my headphones, my AirPods with me when I have them with me right now, but when I'm in the sound booth, I always have these with me and I will always put them in and look at the live stream. Even if nothing's changed, I will either put them in and look at the live stream, or I'll find some headphones and go out to the foyer and listen to the live stream and make sure everything is balanced. Because again, when you've worked in churches in sound for any amount of time, there's these things we call gremlins that get into the system. And even though nothing's changed, for some reason, everything sounds different. And so you do want to monitor the live stream, not just monitor the board. And I wouldn't even monitor whatever streaming software. Actually pull up your live stream on your phone and go watch it in the hallway and make sure it sounds good for the viewer. All right, I hope that all makes sense. I'm going to go on to video and then we're going to wrap up here. But don't go anywhere because remember, I promised you those bonuses. So video tips, just take a look at this. This is my buddy, Dave Curley. He helps me. He is my partner with Church Training Academy. This is his church. You can go watch their live stream at tatesprings.com. But this is their church. You can see they're not a huge church. They're not a mega church. They're not even what I would consider a large church. They're a church. I think they represent kind of what the average American church is, at least here in Texas and in the Bible Belt. But you can see how quality you can get with even just a small church and a camera. Okay. So, number one video tip I want to share with you is get close and follow. Okay. Let me go back to the slide here. The slide in the top left, that's kind of what a lot of church streams look at. The camera is planted on the stage and you can see everyone. And what you want to do when the pastor comes up, or if there's a soloist singing, or even the worship pastor, like the other two photos, you want to get up close, from the belt up, and make it engaging. When you watch announcers at the football game, when you're watching the football game or whatever sports on TV, man, I miss sports, right? They have the field, but then as the players are getting set up, I watch a lot of baseball or football, as the players are walking around, they zoom into the players to make it engaging. You're not just watching the field the whole time. And when they go to the announcer booth, the announcers have their own cameras in the booth. They are shot from the waist up because it's engaging. We want to see people live and up close, loud and up close. So get close to the pastor. And this means that, you're going to have to be behind the camera to follow the pastor around. That's something you're going to have to accept to keep it engaging, to keep it interesting. And remember, people are watching on devices that are small. This is a regular iPhone, not a Plus or whatever, the Max or whatever they call it nowadays. But this is the screen that I'm watching. And if the pastor's this big on your live streaming software, he's about this big on my phone. And that's not engaging. Bring it up close. I want to see the pastor. I want to see the emotions. I want to see the emotes or, whatever body language that helps me engage with him. It should look like a meeting like we're having right now. Get up close and follow the pastor. Video tip number 2, this is really more for the pastor than for the person running. Stay in the light. Okay, pastors love to walk around, love to go down the steps, maybe preach from the floor instead of the stage. If you don't have lighting, though, it's not going to look good for the live stream. So either two things. Number one, pastor, stay in the light. I'm going to put some tape on the stage. Try to stay in between here, because when you leave this section, the camera can't see you. The live stream, it doesn't look as good. Or two, put more lighting in to where the pastor wants to preach from. That way, when you track the pastor, he's still lit up from the floor for the live stream. So make sure you got lighting looking really good. And number 3, include your graphics and videos. Don't be the church that has the camera. All right, guys, let's watch this missions video. And then you tilt the camera and you just start looking at the screen in the church. That's not ideal. Ecamm makes it really nice. You can bring in your projection software through something called NDI. Other streaming platforms do it too. Or you can just copy your video presentations, your slides, announcement slides, copy them into Ecamm, and then you can just play them natively inside of Ecamm. So when you click play in the church, click play on the video on Ecamm, and it shows up nice and big and the audio looks good. That's just a simple way to do it. But include graphics and videos. That way, again, it feels more like I'm there and not just a fly on the wall. So those are my video tips. So right now, you might feel like this. You might feel like you're just a small dog trying to drink from the fire hose. And let me commend you, though, because I would rather you be the dog in the front than the dog in the back. The dog in the back is a pansy. It's probably a cat. I'm a dog person. But anyways, that's a joke. The dog in the back is scared. He's backing away. And let me tell you, that dog in the back is the church that is scrambling and losing attention because they just kept putting it off. And then we got into this crazy pandemic time. And they are scrambling and they are losing attention. And in the church, that's even more important, because some people like me, we stream for business and we lose attention, we lose income, but that's replaceable. We can deal with that. When you're a church and you lose attention, that means the kingdom, God is losing attention. And that's kind of our fault for not capitalizing on something that's been provided to us to preach to so many people and get our message out to so many people. And we've just backed away and we're scared. The time now is not to be scared. The time now is to be the dog trying to eat it up front. We want to be that dog that's a firehouse, or that's a fire hydrant, but let's get into it. Let's dig into it. And unfortunately, sometimes when you dig into live streaming, you can feel like this dog. Like you're just getting blasted in the face. You get a little scared. But let me tell you, don't worry, okay? Because I'm going to give you something here beyond what we talked about today. I'm going to give you some Summit exclusive bonuses. This is only for people that are here right now that have stayed to the end of this. I'm going to give you 3 bonuses, and this is just for you guys. Number one, I'm going to give you the live streaming the easy way guide. This is 4 ways you can start live streaming with ease. Four ways that we live stream. We call it selfie mode, indie mode, desktop mode, and then broadcast mode. And you don't have to jump straight to broadcast mode and spend thousands of dollars. You can start right now in your home with what you have in your pocket, your phone. You're going to get that guide for free. Number two, I'm going to give you 20 proven engagement questions. You saw that my church, as many people are watching, they're also engaging. Just imagine everyone that's watching also engaging and participating in the chat and participating in worship. This doesn't happen by accident, and it involves some work on your part. And so I'm going to give you 20 proven engagement questions to get people engaging and interacting with you and others in the chat. Let me tell you, as someone working in a church, there's nothing better than seeing people in the foyer say, "Oh, it's Debbie's birthday. Happy birthday, Debbie. Everyone, happy birthday." It's a whole nother thing when it's in the chat of a live stream and someone's like, "Hey, it's Debbie's birthday. Oh my gosh, Debbie, happy birthday." And 20 people jump in, "Debbie, happy birthday. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're still can't believe you're still rocking your old bones around here," jokingly. But number three, this is brand new. We're going to give you a quick start video pack. And this is something that, probably should be a course that we sell. But again, working with churches, we want to provide as much value as possible. So we're going to give you an end-to-end walkthrough of setting up your own live stream. We're going to give you the exact equipment you need to match the budget you have. We'll give you equipment that matches a couple different budgets. And then we're going to walk through end-to-end, cable to cable, going from your camera to the computer and audio to the camera or your audio to the computer, the different cards you need, the different hardware you need, and even some software you need, including Ecamm, and how to use it for the church. We're not talking about just sitting here like I am. Specifically for the church, we're going to give you that quick start video pack for free, 100% free. So to get that, go to churchtrainingacademy.com/leap. Like leap in the live stream, LEAP. Get that, go there, sign up for that. We'll deliver it to you for free. The quick start video pack, I'm not sure if we'll have it ready by the end of April, but you will be on the list to get it first before we open it up to anyone else. So that is for you for 100% for free. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Justin from Church Training Academy. I hope this was encouraging to you. If you have any questions, send me a direct message, or you can email me, justin@churchtrainingacademy.com. These are some crazy times. 2020 has been insane, unprecedented, but the church can strive because of live streaming, because of the technology and tools we have. So if you have any questions, we want to help you strive. Shoot me a message or send us an email. God bless every one of you, and we'll see you later. Now take what you've learned and go change lives.